Okay, we're doing the podcast, and I don't care if you heard a little computer noise when you first started. That's our new intro. No, I'm just kidding. That's not the intro. Um, but yeah, I started to say because I actually re-recorded a couple times. This is a new setup, obviously, like with us like talking towards the computer a little bit, but still kind of towards each other. Um, Jacob here created the background for this podcast. Right, it mirrored. This is my little brother. He's a Marine, and that's pretty much all he's accomplished in life. Yeah. But I also like I don't know accomplishments in my view. This is episode number 8. I mean, sticks over at home, so that hurt. The YouTubers didn't need to know that. I'm trying to create like a perception here.
You don't have a.
I rented a Bugatti the other day.
Yeah, you don't have a name for your pollinators.
No. Absolutely.
Comment down below what your name is.
Yeah. Well, so I went to Italy, and being in Italy, I missed out on a big chunk of your life, and especially the big part about you becoming a Marine and everything. So, what I guess let's jump into that. Like, what got you wanting to join the Marine Corps? Why the Marine Corps over the others? That was loud. Yeah, don't hear me. Need my caffeine, man.
I don't know. Honestly, ever since I was young, I always wanted to do some sort of like military or something. Originally, I was thinking like the National Guard, like my cousin, just because I thought that was cool. And originally, I wanted to go to the Army, be a combat medic, but like after seeing some like gory stuff, I was like,
No way.
no way. Like seeing an open fracture, I almost threw up. I was like, that was rough. Um, so then whenever you decided on the Army, I was like, I have to one up.
I've always felt like that's what it actually is. Deep down, it's like I want to be the best. But honest, I was just gonna say Ethan's gonna come out of the woodwork and become a fucking SEAL or something.
Yeah,
while you're like while we're over here talking shit about Army versus Marine, this motherfucker's off at Delta, having fucking terrorists and shit.
Honestly, whenever you first told us that you were joining, I was like, I was a bit irritated because I was like, what? I'm gonna be 18 in like 2 years, and like,
You wanted to be the first?
yes, I wanted to be the first. And after you got out of your phase and you were like 23, I'm like, he's not gonna do it. He's too old now. And then you called dad. I think we were like church or something like that. And you called dad while we were sitting there, and I remember he came back in. Mom was like, what was that about? He's like, why is joining the Army? We're like, what? Mom was like, okay, I was not expecting that. But yeah, when they told me, I was a little bit irritated because I wanted to be the first one, and then I was like, well, I got a one. I got a one up them. So I was like, well, I'll join the Marines, and then I wanted to do recon, and my recruiter was like, no, he's like, the what's attrition mean?
Attrition is like
Failure.
yeah, it's one of those. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's failure.
We'll just say the attrition. He said the attrition rate was like either so low or so high, whichever one it is. It's the opposite. But he's like, I would never sign anybody a recon contract, and I was like, that looks so cool. And then I was like,
Why did he say no? Like, what was his reason?
oh, because recon, no matter if you get all the way through the training, from what I've heard, if you get all the way through the training, it literally comes down if they want you or not. Because there's a lot of people in my MLS right now that like have gone through the training and stuff, and then they just told them no, and then you become an open contract after that.
Well, that's what happens a lot in the Army. In the 173rd, it's like half Special Forces rejects, and then 3% Army Ranger washouts. It's that bad. And it seems like everyone's gone to Ranger school. Okay, not everyone. I never went. But it seems like everyone's gone to Ranger School and failed. I
Yeah.
had one guy in my platoon that I know of that passed when he went, out of maybe the 6 or 7 that I know that went, and he was a private when he graduated. Everyone else failed.
Wow.
Staff sergeants. But that's one. It's like a really smart
Is it just
play.
mental?
I guess.
I
That's
mean,
what
it's
they
mental
were.
and physical, but
Everyone says.
yeah.
But no. Damn it, what the hell was I about to say? We were talking about. Oh yeah, it's a great deal for the Army, and the Marines and the Navy and every branch that has a special forces program. Because if you pass, they just got a new special forces guy or a new ranger or something. If you fail, well, now they own your ass for the next 5 years. Open contract, we'll plug you in wherever we need you, you know?
Yeah.
So,
I was like, I remember telling him, I was like, so if I like really wanted to go recon, would you sign it for me? Would you let me go? He's like, I wouldn't sign it for you. I was like, so you make me go to a different recruiter. He's like, if that is the only thing you wanted, you wouldn't settle for anything else, then I would. He's like, but I will highly advise against it. But looking back on it, I'm glad I didn't. It's like a year of just straight training, and it's 5 year contract, and I would miss out on like I would still be in training for another. If I was recon, I'd still be in training for like another 6 months.
yeah, but you'd probably also be treated like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Because you're still a trainee. You're not really special operations yet, you know?
It's very physical too, because I know you have to like get scuba certified. You have to swim like a ton, and
Well, it's literally like your special
yeah,
operations. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm glad I went with that. So then I was like, didn't go with that. So I'm glad I was. So then I was like, well, I want something that will benefit me afterwards. And I really like at the house driving around the tractors and the heavy equipment. So I was like, if I become a heavy equipment operator, I can be a land developer whenever I get out. Land developers make a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I'll just be a heavy equipment operator. So I told him that I signed my contract for a heavy equipment operator. So I get through boot camp, still the same. Get through MCT, and it says 1371. I'm like, what? And I look it up, and it's like combat engineer. I'm like, I, I don't want to go combat. It's like I just want to drive a front end loader.
Was it a scary feeling?
At first it was, yeah, because I'm like, because I was like doing research on combat engineers. It was like the first, I was like, combat engineers, USMC. It was like life expectancy of combat engineer. I was like, 43 seconds of World War II. I'm like,
43 seconds?
yeah, it was ridiculously
Oh my
small
God.
number.
It makes sense.
It makes sense because like, especially back then, World War II, what was that? No, I'm really bad at history. But no, like they didn't have as much safety protocols as they do now. And working with this stuff is like pretty dangerous. Like can be dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. But yeah, I saw that and I wasn't too happy. I was like a little bit irritated because I said I was supposed to be going to Missouri for all my training and I had to stay at Camp Lejeune. And then,
Yeah.
I don't know. It is what it is. I only got 3 more years left. We'll see.
Yeah. I don't know like exactly how the Marine Corps uses combat engineers, like if they use them differently than the Army does. But I remember thinking like, damn, those motherfuckers don't die. Like if it ever actually happened. Because one time we were hitting, and you might do it when you go to Norway, but there's like a bunch of sea wire around the objective. And like the traditional, typical, like stereotypical thing you do if you're doing a training event and you get combat engineers is put a shit ton of sea wire up front and just have them cut it up.
Yeah, what's crazy is we're
But that's
like,
why. So the reason why it's so dangerous though is like we'll be behind the berm shooting at the enemy, right? I mean, well, okay, it's not shooting; it is shooting at the enemy. There we go. Yeah, and then we kind of like we have like crossfires set up, and then we kind of like open it up a little bit, and then that's when you guys run forward and like throw your little C4 on top of the wire, and that's when you all die.
Look,
That's when you die.
give him a little reference.
Oh, you're gonna teach
Yeah.
them
So this is like
how to.
all right. All right, so this is like the berm, and this is where the infantry and stuff is. Let's just say that there's like a bunch of sea wire right here that you would need to breach. So they would be firing over at the objective to keep their heads down, and then the combat engineers would run up with Bangalore, Expedient Bangalore, and throw it in right there. Pop smoke, try and get back. That would do it, and then we have a marking team. So right after that, the marking.
The little dummies that run and throw the fucking things in the
I
ground.
think that's retarded. Yeah, like if you're getting shot at, the least of my worries is marking it. Like you can see where the sea wire is, run through it. Like I mean,
Well, especially during the
yeah, I mean it comes into play because the people will booby trap underneath the C4, underneath the sea wire.
oh
So if you run through the 45-degree angle that you created, then you're safe.
well, you need to do the stupid hook thing. You throw the hook in front of you, you lay down on the ground, and then you pull the grapple hook towards you, and then you sprint forward and do it again.
Ours isn't a hook; it's like a really long stick. It looks like the Grim Reaper stick.
Oh,
Like,
right.
yeah, but it's really long, and it's like I forget it has a name, but I forgot. But it like detects for tripwire and stuff. But anyways, yeah, and then once we mark it and proof it and stuff, then the infantry comes through, and like it's kind of retarded.
Well, I know you guys. I don't know. Do you guys also go on the other side of the wire and establish localized support by fire?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just showing them.
So you guys are literally like do the same exact shit as, like you're used the same way dummies.
Yeah, and especially on like patrols and stuff, like say in Afghanistan or something, we're like in the front metal detecting, make sure there's no mines or booby traps.
That's a scary thing. I remember talking to some Navy EOD guys. Bomb defeatal. And they were pretty interesting. They were very unique. Not weird or anything, just not what you normally run into in the military. Like think of like a leftist, liberal fruitcake. That's what one of them was. Fit as fuck, smart as shit. That's what he was. And the other guy is kind of like a plumber. That's what he looks like. One dude looks like a plumber. One dude looks like your average kid at the college campus, just with a lot more muscle. And he had this whole sleeve of information, just equations.
Like tattoo?
No.
Oh, okay.
Plastic sleeve, not up here, just like on his forearm down here. And then he would reference that. Okay. For the record, like we never actually went anywhere, but he was just explaining it to me. When he was diffusing a bomb, there might be different sorts of bombs and stuff like that. And I guess with different sorts of bombs, they require different things. And I don't think he actually told me anything sensitive, but I won't go into detail about what he did say, just in case any of it's sensitive. Because I know that maybe they told you too, like any job that where they teach you how to defuse bombs or work on bombs or anything related with bombs. Don't they always like kind of keep an eye on you, like put like an elevated, elevated security measure to maybe watch your text a little more, see if you're planning on blowing shit up.
No, they did tell us. They said that once you become they're like once you like start once you're a combat engineer, they said like every branch, they said you are on a FBI watch list. He said whenever you go through security at the airport and stuff, he said it will take a lot longer because when they scan your name, it'll pop up. And
I just don't believe it.
I don't believe it either because how can you? I don't believe
I've heard dumbass rules like that, or not rules, but rumors like that. I'm just trying to, because when people make claims, I try to imagine it.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking of like Tommy walking in The FBI. Morning cup of Joe in his fucking hands. And he's like, all right, what do we got today? And the boss is like, well, we got a terrorist that killed 73 people in New York. We got a U.S. Marine. We've got this warlord over in Southern California that's waging war against the Sureños. He's the leader of the Bloods in that region. And then we've got a 19-year-old kid that took him to court. And we did teach him what to do should him or any of his brothers in arms step on a landmine, and what to do when they discover them. Find them. It's like, what?
Yeah.
It's like, come on, man. They're not worried about the people that win the military. They're worried about the crazy motherfuckers that are like,
Yeah, I don't really believe that, but
yeah,
that's what they were like, you guys could be on FBI watch list. And one of my instructors a couple months ago, he's like, yeah, I came straight from out of the field, took a shower, and went to the airport. And he's like, I went to the metal detectors, and I had like, I forget what it was explosive residue on his skin. And he's like, you don't understand how hard it was to like explain to them that I just came out of the field after blowing stuff up, and I'm not a terrorist. He's like, so they made me like wash it all off and stuff.
his cat card wasn't enough to like, hey man.
I don't know. I mean, I would be kind of weary too if I was a security guy and you just got scanned and got swabbed and there's explosive residue all over your skin.
It would be a little scary, like
It
especially
would.
at airports.
Yeah.
Have you ever okay, so with Norway, you're leaving for Norway January 20th. Okay. So have they talked about getting you an official passport yet? Or are you flying in military transport?
They don't tell us. They just said we're going to Norway.
No, it's not that. It's that they don't know anything yet.
I get it. Like we had a whole brief with the whole family and everything. And they're like, we got these state-of-the-art facilities and we spent millions on the gym here and the barracks are so nice. You only have to share a room with 4 people. And I'm like,
well, I did actually see that video. I don't want to get you in any trouble, so we probably shouldn't talk too much about like negatively about it. But the video with Sergeant, it's a Sergeant Major, right? You guys have Sergeant Majors in the Marines?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps. Right.
What?
Yeah.
I think.
Dude, if you fucked up and like one of your platoon is watching this,
I think.
hey, he gets past if he's on my podcast, all right? Don't fuck him up. All right? Oh, dude, why do you gotta do that, man? See, that's something with Jacob. If anyone in his platoon actually does watch this, I don't know why. But he always has like this desire to get a reaction.
Next week I'll be like, hi horrible. I go home.
And he's just always been like that. I used to throw Xbox controllers at him when I was 7. I used to get beat.
Where are you going?
Yeah, Sergeant Major Black, he made a video and he was addressing like a lot of the issues, I guess, of the Marine Corps. Now I'm sure every Marine watched it and like laughed their ass off. Like, yeah, right. Yeah, I agree with you. It does suck. What you gonna do about it?
I think it's
Yeah. No, I mean like the thing with him is that guy's really said all the right things. He's really if he follows through with what he said that he's gonna do, it should make things a lot better. I think he talked a lot about improving his big thing is he wants to improve the lifestyle of your average Marine, like barracks rooms, he wants to improve the barracks life.
I mean, I understand it. Whenever we go to Norway, it's not a U.S. base.
No.
No, it's an air base. We're gonna be staying in their barracks.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're giving us like the best they can, I think, or they may have just made it sound like amazing in front of like the whole, like all the.
Wait, are you
families
talking
with
about in Norway?
Yeah.
Oh, that's talking about in general.
Oh,
Oh, but no, in Norway, they're saying you're going to get good barracks and everything.
yeah, but we have to share a room with like 5 other people.
That's
But-
okay.
But yeah, it's okay. It's only for a couple.
At least you
months.
get barracks.
We're not in the field. Because I
Oh,
remember I was sitting in the front, and he's like, "Y'all are gonna just be." He's like, "You're some barracks," and I was like, "He's like, you thought you were just gonna sit in the field freezing the whole time." He's like, "But you are, but when you're not in the field, you can stay in these barracks." But
who told you that?
Lieutenant Colonel.
What, you said like you recorded, you made a recording or something?
No, I was sitting. They put me in the front row whenever we had a brief.
Oh, no, seriously?
So it was like,
Did he ask if anyone has any questions?
yeah, and I'm just there.
Did he try to call on people?
No, they do that sometimes. Though. They're like,
Yeah.
"Hey, does anybody have any questions?" It's like, "All right, we're not leaving until we have 5 questions."
Oh my
And somebody
God.
was like, "How's your day, sir?" And he's like, "Stupid question. Who has
They
another
don't,
question?"
they don't fuck him up for that?
Huh?
And so,
It was no, because it was the whole. It was like,
well, for who? Are you
whole
talking about
battalion.
Lieutenant Colonel? Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't.
Well, not-
he said 5 questions.
Not on the spot. Like, after it's over, hey, you fucking idiot.
Oh, they
Hell,
yeah,
you
they
say
do
this,
that.
sir?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. Hey, get over here, you dumb fuck. I remember, I don't mean to get like military nonstop on this, but and I hate people that sit there and tell basic training stories.
Yeah.
But I'm going to. So um it's not really a story. It's just the funniest thing I think I ever heard a drill sergeant say. We were at sick call, not because we were sick, we had to get like some vaccines or something.
I
And
hated that. Did they make you just walk down the thing as they just poked you on
well,
the
that was
side?
more like at Met or not Met, sorry, 30th AG, the processing unit. Um, Once you're actually in basic training, um, you do most of your processing, you're in processing before you start. You're like at Fort Benning at a place called, or in a unit called 30th AG. It's an in processing unit. And then after you're in processed, um, they'll ship you off to another company to, do your BCT. But
How long is are you at 30 AG?
about 2 or 3 weeks, and then you go. But anyways, I never
Oh,
finished. So the drill sergeant, right? We're to call, fucking just hanging out and everything, and I don't know, we're just standing around waiting. Yeah, because we're not really taking direction from our drill sergeants at this point. We're taking direction from like our medical staff. They told us to just go stand over here. I don't know what's that thing that people get married in. Is that the only reason it's made? I don't know what else it could possibly be.
A gazebo?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they had a gazebo outside of sick call, so we were just standing in there. And this drill sergeant drives by. They all had vans. I don't know why vans, but they all have vans. And yeah, and this dude, it's like 4 drill sergeants in there driving by, normal speed, hits the fucking brakes as hard as he, like, it was just so obnoxiously over the top how hard this man hit his brakes. He hit it like someone brake jacked him. He hit that shit. He rolled, the drill sergeant next to him rolled down his window. He's like, hey, quit swindling around, you fucking idiots. And then they just walked off. Like, I'm swindling around. The hell you mean that? Swindling around. I don't know though. I think it's like when you have ultimate power and you can talk shit to people and they're not allowed to talk shit back.
Yeah.
That goes to your head a little bit and you start thinking you're way more clever than you are. And you start saying things that people, yeah, that's the best part about it. Because like they start saying the dumbest shit, but they think it's smart because you can't say anything back. Hey, you fucking ready your piece of shit. Ready your piece of shit. What are you?
And then you like start to laugh. They're like, it's some funny, and you're like, no.
Yeah, you are. Oh, dude, all the time.
That's crazy how your receiving week is like 3 weeks long. Ours is 3 days.
It's worse, in my opinion, the BCT.
Oh, for sure. The receiving days, at
Oh, is it,
camp,
would you say it's the same in Paris Island?
I don't know. They keep you up for 3 days straight, and you just
Oh,
get all your shots.
so that's not rumor. That's true.
Oh no, yeah, it's true. Like they'll have you just be sitting there, and somebody out of an entire freaking company will end up like, all right, everybody stand
Yeah.
up. On day like 3, you're like literally falling asleep standing up, and then but it's weird during receiving they feed you every like 2 hours. They give you a sandwich every 2 hours, like box check. Did you hear that? I don't know if you guys know.
Receiving every 2 hours?
Yeah, it was weird. They gave us like a box chat. So it had a sandwich, like fruit, raisins, like some sort of cookies and chips every 2 hours. Like I felt so fat at the end of receiving because I was like but as soon as we met our drill instructors, they like you know how like whenever they run out there they like go ballistic and like start screaming at everybody's face. Yeah, I was like
there's no logic to it.
Yeah, I was like
noise.
I was literally smiling because I was like, I'm fangirling. This is all I've seen. I'm just standing there like, just like watching it. It was funny.
Like what you watched videos on
I
it?
watched ridiculous. Yeah, before I watched like so many, and then I was like, whenever I got off the bus, you know how they're like, DCO flipper, signify, and I'm just like zoned out, and I'm like, there's no man here.
Yeah.
I don't want to be here anymore.
I think I told you before, but when I got off the bus, I forgot my hat. Or my PC, or my headgear, whatever the fuck it was. Well, when you see, when you have 300 other people that all have their hat on,
They make you do this. No. Every time we
what,
forgot
do this?
Every time we forgot our colors, like in the chat hall, we had no idea. Everybody's running around outside, like, and then they're like, they're making you say something retarded, and they're like, this recruit forgot his cover. Where is it? This recruit doesn't know, sir. It's just so.
What's the dumbest thing you did in boot camp that won't get you in trouble if any of your superiors happen to hear about it here?
Last one he's like screaming at me, and like this guy right next to me, he's like slapped his hygiene bag up and just started stomping him, like broke all his razors and stuff in it.
Oh, the drill sergeant.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying one of the privates just dropped his fucking bag and started stomping on it. Can you imagine if he did that?
Everything in like boot camp is so ridiculous. Like so our hygiene bag, it's a brown bag that has a loop on it.
Yeah.
We had to hold it like this, 45-degree angle. And then, but if the loop was facing outwards, you got like, because screwed up for that. So you had to always have the loop facing inwards. You had to walk like this. Like everything was 45-degree angle. This guy had his loop facing outwards. We're just standing on line. And then you walks by, just slams on the ground and like throws a temper tantrum, just starts like jumping on it and stuff. And this is like while we were still at attention. We had to be at attention. I was just like, he's like, is something funny came out? And I was like, oh, no, sir. And then he's like, this is after we just showered and everything. And then he's like, all right, everybody on your face. And we're down there like, they're all like, push up, Marine Corps. We get like soaked in sweat because I just laughed in his face. And I'm like, all right, it was funny. That was the biggest thing I got in trouble for, just smiling in boot camp. It was like, I don't know. They're always like,
break you. It is insubordinate, but it's also not like, you know, we can JP you for this shit kind of thing, you know?
What are they going to do? Just smile back. I would deny it to a court martial.
So Sergeant, I don't know, Smith. Sergeant Smith, why is it that why are you recommending NJP action on Private Kidwell?
You laughed in my face. Fair enough.
Yeah, I remember one time in basic training, I felt bad for them, but it was funny. It was this other platoon, and like their drill sergeant told them bring the water cooler up to their bay. It was about to get hot. They went out there and they did this whole. I think you said you guys did it too. The water under the bridge, where you stick your butt in the air and someone crawls like on their belly under everybody. Yeah, we call it water under the bridge. Like it's water under the bridge. Be fine.
Like they're not looking good. I used that in boot camp. I did like the bare minimum. I was like, this is so gay. Like we're scuzzing back and forth for like an hour, and I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore. So I'm just like walking, dragging my scuzz brush on the ground. I'm like, get down! You want to stand up? Because I knew at the end of the day,
I fucking hate 18-year-olds.
I knew at the end of the day, I knew in my head they're gonna do this regardless of how good we do it. They're going to do this for the allotted time. I'm like, They have to let us go to dinner. They have to let us go to lunch.
Yeah.
They have to put us in bed by 8 or 7. They don't have to give us square away time, which is like our hour of time. But I'm like,
You were figuring out their rules, like what
yeah,
they have
I'm
to
like,
do and what they can't.
they have to do this, and they can't PTS for so long. So I'm like, they're just gonna do it the max because we have nothing else to do today. We already did all of our training, came back and stuff, and like in the house, like the drill instructor house, there was a window right there, and
Yeah.
there was like a training matrix. So I would like look through the window and see what we were doing that day, and
Yeah.
then so I knew whenever we got back, everybody hated me, but like ultimately at the towards the end of it, they're like, "Yeah, I'm not doing this anymore." I'm like, "I told you guys, it's literally just a game. You play the game right." It did suck though, being away from family and just having like so little letters. And then the
Yeah.
boot camp, like this is whenever Ukraine like just went to Russia, and they're like, "I promise all y'all are gonna be in Moscow in a month," and I'm like,
No, honestly,
I don't
though,
want to leave.
I hate to say it, like not saying that like the Army's a bad branch. You gotta be careful what you say whenever you're saying that on air. You know,
Yeah,
like I really like I just to be straight. I mean, as you know, I'm really happy that I'm not in the Army. Um, but I do genuinely mean like I don't feel um any regret joining. I'm glad I did. And even while I was in, I had that same mindset. I was like, I don't regret this, but I'll be glad when it's over. It's a chapter I'm glad I had, but I'll be glad when that chapter's over. You know?
yeah. A lot of people are like,
But sorry to interrupt you, but I just wanted to finish my point. The um, Marines, however, I would feel a little bit safer going to war having joined the Marines than just your normal average Army infantry unit. Like I know it varies, and like you got some platoons out there that are just knocking it out of the park, and they're just like a normal grunt infantry platoon. But it just seems, generally speaking, that like, and I mean, I'm not a general. I haven't like looked at any data or anything. Like, I don't really know, obviously, but it does seem the Marine Corps is a little bit more square away. Like boot camp, your boot camp experience sounds like it was a bit rougher, just with the absence of cell phones.
yeah, you get cell phones?
Yeah, we did have cell phones, and you could earn cell phone time as a platoon through platoon competitions towards the end of DCT. Well, and it varies per company. That's another big difference between the Army and the Marine Corps, from what I understand. The Marines, it seems like everything's a bit more about the core, you know? Where, yeah, everyone's big, and their pride is based on being a Marine, not necessarily the job, you know? Whereas the Army, it's more like your job and your unit. So if I'm in the Army and I want to like brag, I'm not like, I'm a soldier. Fuck you, Marines. Like, it's nothing like that. It's more like, yeah, I'm in the infantry, you toga ass bitch. Like, I'm in the infantry, airborne. I jump out of fucking planes, motherfucker. Like that's kind of how it is. Um, but I think the Marine Corps just does a better job at toughening you up. Then like you're going to war. Like, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't want to go through Marine Corps training, but if I was going to war, I'd want it to be hard. I'd hate it. I'd complain. I'd bitch, but I want it to be hard.
You don't even learn any. You do, but you don't. You don't learn any tactics or anything in boot camp. Basically, just learning to follow orders, drilling all the time. It like they want you to be so physically fit.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, but like we didn't learn any like skirmishers or
That's a World War II tactic.
skirmishers.
Yeah, I mean, like, because I had that Milsim team on Xbox, and I was studying the field manual from the Army in World War II to see if they use different strategies or tactics. And one thing they talked about was like the squad leader, which back in World War II, I guess the mentality was the squad leader, and he always leads from the front, should be up front. It's not the way it is now. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's wherever you have the most command and control, right? But it used to always be like, hey, the squad leader, get your ass up front, dog. And then when he sees like enemy, he'll be like, skirmishers, right? And then everybody just wagon wheels around, and they all get online and
Yeah, we didn't learn any of that. until 2 weeks before we graduated.
Really?
Yep. And then it's weird though because your boot camp is your MOS. You call it MOS too?
Yeah.
Yeah, your MOS is incorporated into your boot camp.
Yeah, the Army does that.
Ours is 13 weeks of boot camp and then 4 weeks MCT, which is Marine combat training.
Dude,
So
I
it's
love that
basic.
so much that you guys.
Yeah, it's
only 4 weeks, but I mean,
yeah, it's also kind of just gay. That's where we shoot table 2 through 6. So that's where we learn to, because in boot camp we're always taught to hold the rifle like this, just whatever will get us the best score to get our little badge on her. Whenever we get to,
Really?
Yeah. There we go.
No, you don't train on site?
No, they're like whenever whenever we got to
Well, what's your
MCT,
test? Like, what do you do for your test?
100-meter, don't quote me on this, but
Not PT test, the marksmanship test.
yeah, it's like 100 meters shooting or 100 meters standing, 200 meters sitting, kneeling, 300 meters sitting, kneeling, 500 meters prone.
Any barricades?
No, that's in MCT.
Well-
We have like little cutouts like that,
Yeah, oh yeah, we had the same.
and then you have to.
Yeah. See grip and all that shit.
Yeah, but we didn't learn any of the have your hand on the peg, point where you're going until MCT.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would agree totally with like just game it however you got to game it and pass that test because 500-meter shot's pretty hard. Iron sights?
Yeah, before.
Okay, at least you got that.
Yeah, but it's still pretty hard. Those boot camp rifles are
Yeah.
they've been through like so
Through
many
the
different
ringer.
cycles, through the crucible so many times, like completely soaked.
They don't get rid of it until that thing blows up.
Yeah, and it's just like
It's been in 19 wars.
it really has. This thing is absolutely. I didn't even have, it was just metal up there. I didn't have any of the little.
Fucking Wayne's, they don't trust so much of fucking recruits with.
Like all of our gear in boot camp too that we got is just like it has rips all in it. It was absolutely terrible.
Ours too.
Yeah, I think it gets like new gear. Like whenever I got here,
Mine still had blood on it. No, I'm totally joking.
I was about to say, my corporal literally said yesterday, he's like, hey, if any of y'all get bloody nose easily, whenever you start bleeding, come to my room and pour blood on my stuff because then I don't have to clean it.
Really?
Yeah, you don't have to clean it if you get blood.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, so he was
Dude, mine was a fucking nightmare, dude. It's very good. Very
stiff gear.
keep it all, man. And like, I'm not obviously like you're not throwing it away, but I'm just saying like, I would definitely advise trying to be a little bit disciplined when it comes to your gear. Like, make sure you fucking know where it's not going to be your kit that you lose. It's going to be the little tiny buckle from the 4th rucksack that you got that you never used that has been sitting in your closet for 3 years. I had 5, I think.
We get one.
Yeah, it was just they kept upgrading it and we get the newest generation, but we would never turn our old one in. So by the time I left, I had this many plates.
What's crazy is they upgrade their plates from now until the time I get out. I have to buy the new plates whenever I turn it. That's all of my corporals.
You have to buy them. Wait, say that again?
You have to. So you know the little not the plate carrier, the sappies inside of it. If they upgrade it,
The sappies, or you talking actual plates?
yes.
Oh yeah.
So if they upgrade it to a higher, if they change the plates at all, you have to buy the new plates before you go.
Why do you have to buy them though?
So
You bought your plates?
no, but
Oh.
if so, the plates I have now, if they make a new version of that, whenever I turn in all my gear, I have to have the new version of that. I have to buy it.
But what do you mean you have to buy the new plates?
I have to buy the
They
new.
don't issue it to you?
No, not if you have the old plates.
You wouldn't just turn in the old plates and get new plates?
That's what my corporal said. He's like, it sucks. He's like, I have to buy new plates now because they upgraded them. He's like, every time they upgrade, like new sappies, you have to buy the new sappies. And
That just sounds so wrong.
yeah,
It doesn't sound accurate.
Yeah, I know. I may be wrong, but that's what him and a couple other footballers were talking about. So that they have to buy new sappies because they're about to get out, but it's upgraded since the last time.
That sounds like if so. I know it sounds like a bit of a reach, but to me that sounds like if you join a branch that's really poor and needs to steal from its members, you go to.
Yeah, no, I'm for real. Like,
No, you're not for real. Careful. um, yeah, if I get you in trouble, we'll never let me live that down. Jacob went on Jeremiah's podcast one time. Yeah. I don't know, maybe we'll cut you some slack since I said that I think I'd feel safer in the Marine Corps going to war.
you remember Nick there?
Yeah, the Navy guy, right?
Yeah. He said that he was at Afghanistan for a year. He's like he left the wire like 35 times or something like that. He's like,
Really?
actually, yeah.
Wasn't he an officer?
Yeah.
I thought they didn't do that.
I
No,
don't
I'm just kidding.
know. I was like, I don't know. Never been
What
there.
was it? Wait, wasn't he like a reservist? Navy reservist?
Oh,
He's active? How did he live
Not
in
anymore.
Lake City?
Bill.
Oh, right, okay.
So, giving away his location here.
That's all right. Anytime a SEAL goes on a podcast, they all know that they're at Coronado.
Yeah. Anyways, he's like, yeah, so we got a call that that there was like something about to go down and we have to go. He's like, so he's like, we're in the Humvees listening to like what is it, finger punch.
Oh, Five Finger Death Punch.
Yeah. He's like, so we're in there just like getting all hyped up and stuff. And he's like, and I was with a bunch of Marines and he's like, I was so excited. He's like, if I wanted to go to war with anybody, I wanted to not. He's like, if I wanted to go get in a firefight with anybody, I wanted to be alongside these Marines. He's like, Marines are very highly trained, especially these ones. And so he's like, they're driving. You can't really go fast in those Humvees because, I mean, it's dangerous. It could flip or it's
They have like no shocks.
yeah, it's unknown terrain too because like you got to be careful. Anyways, he's like, so they get there, and as soon as they get there, they call it off. And he's like, that does something to you mentally because like it's the past 45 minutes, you're like, all right, you're like getting all your adrenaline's like super high. You're like, all right, about to go blow some people up. And then you get there and they're like, all right, we're done. You're showing me pictures.
I don't know if I agree.
You showed me pictures there.
Yeah, I know. I have a buddy that on a jump, he was, airborne jump. He was on the plane. If you don't know, it's a whole day of prep before you jump. So I mean, like anything from packing your ruck to rigging it to um, going through all the pre-jump training. It's 4 hours with several blocks of instruction where they have you practice for every conceivable type of emergency that may or may not happen in the air. Anything from landing in power lines to hanging from a tree and how to lower yourself from that. All that stuff. And then, so you have that whole day of prep. You're working up for it. You get to the Baja, that's what we call the place where you get rigged up. And, you get rigged up and then you get on the plane. Getting a little nervous now, right? And then get into the drop zone. The jump masters start doing their hands like book or whatever they are. I don't know the hands but signals. But basically they have them hook up everything, getting ready to jump. Red light. Jump got scratched.
Yeah.
Literally in the plane, hooked up, doors open, jump scratch. And that's not uncommon. That's not uncommon at all. What'd you say?
Seems like it would do something to you like mentally, like you're getting all hyped up, you're like, all right, I'm doing this, and then they're like, never mind. You gotta do it tomorrow.
I think it does.
Just get it over with.
I think it does. Yeah, I think it teaches you to chill.
Like live in the now.
Yeah, like it doesn't.
A lot of times the people in charge of you like directly charge you, you don't even know what's going on.
Yeah.
Because like I learned that out on field ops.
They're in the same exact position as you, except they have authority.
Yeah, because they're like, because I was like, you would, and then Corporal over me, he's like, yeah, I have no idea. He's like, we're just sitting here waiting for services. Days of just posted security is boring. But
yeah,
if there was a board to kick off or anything, would you sign up?
well, now you're asking me on the internet. And so if I say it here, then I have to follow through with whatever I say.
Yes.
Well, I, Jeremiah Kidwell, do hereby state that I do not fucking know what I'm doing.
What if it's like a really big war, like against Russia or
I don't know. I mean, people ask that, and I've talked, like, I've answered it, but I think, if I'm being honest, it's kind of hard to know what you're gonna do until you have all the information. You know, like until you're actually in that situation, you know all the facts, you know what's going on. Did you have to go through boot camp again? I might just move to Germany. No, I am good for 2 years upon ETSing, I think. I think I can just immediately go to a duty station if I re-enlisted. However, if I get outside of those 2 years, I will have to go through BCT again. But you know, when you're going through his prior service, I don't think it's the same in the Marine Corps. Is it the same in the Marine Corps? Did they have prior service guys coming through, like people, Air Force, Army?
not with me, but they do have that.
Really? So if you're prior service, they give you your own room.
Oh,
Yeah, they give them their own rooms. They let them go off base on the. I think they let them go off base on the weekends. Maybe it's just to the grocery store. I don't know. Still, yeah, and they don't talk to you like shit. Especially if you're an NCO, they treat you like an NCO. You still have to attend all the training events, but you're not getting treated. No one's screaming in your face. If the privates are being made to do push-ups, you're not. No, you're just there. You're actually probably treated way better in BCT as a prior service guy than you would be in your real unit.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I don't know if that's true. I don't think that's true. I think it's just when you're going through BCT, the contrast between you and them, you're like, oh, that guy's like a normal person. I'm just this giant turd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that you're out of the Army, what's next? I don't do it now.
Well, programming is the adult response.
Computer you getting high on life is the Jeremiah response.
Computer programming. Just because I like the freedom, or it's not necessarily computer programming. Could be web development, just some kind of programming, something I could do remotely.
You're experiencing this with them?
Just as a kid. And then of course the podcasting, and then some really bad stand-up comedy on the side. And
was telling me she figures in comedy on VR, and she's like, "It's terrible."
yeah, that's also another pure judgment.
Yeah.
It's like 17, 9-year-olds in there. They're all just screaming and yelling the whole
Whenever I
time.
went on today, this kid was just on stage like singing for like 4 times, and I'm like, "You are terrible." Yeah.
Place that you get to, but it's a comedy. You're supposed to tell jokes. It's okay if they're bad. Just as long as it's a joke. I don't need to hear baby got bad.
Yeah.
I like the ones that are nervous though to sing, and they're like,
Yeah, this one guy, I just got on. He just walked up to me and Emily.
Yeah.
He just started rapping. Then I look over and I'm like, is this music playing or is he actually talking? And he starts laughing. And I'm like, it's terrible. You go to college to be able
to program?
Yeah.
No, I think you can actually attend some online classes. But I just figured I'd go for a degree. I got the GI Bill and all that. I really like the freedom that's attached to it. You know, I wanted to be a pilot.
Yeah.
I really didn't like the restrictions of that. And then being
podcast to watch.
Being forced to No, don't get me wrong. There's way worse jobs than being a pilot. But I just don't like any company telling me what I can and can't do. I know it sounds ridiculous, but like even with pot, I don't think a company should get to tell me if I can or can't smoke pot. Even if I don't smoke pot, why are you telling me I can't? Like it's not. You pay me to do a job, not to rule my life. You know?
Yeah, but that could be also interpreted as like when people's lives come risk. So if you're high and you're a pilot, people's lives
No,
could
no,
be at risk.
yeah, no, no, again, I'm not in opposition to people that have dangerous jobs that affect themselves and others.
If you're a plumber,
Yeah,
you
right.
smoke weed, then I mean that's up to you. But like,
No one's gonna die
yeah,
because you
you're not
didn't.
gonna,
I don't know.
you're not gonna be putting people's lives at risk.
Yeah, and it's not just weed. I mean, it's everything. Like, okay, what if they're like, "Hey, you're gonna fly to New York tomorrow?" I don't want to fly to New York tomorrow. Like, don't get me wrong. I know it's ridiculous. I know I sound like I'm an entitled retard. Um, but I'm not going to those companies and then getting pissed off over it. I'm identifying that I have that problem now and picking a job that will let me have the freedom that I want.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Marissa, she's like, I hate how my boss can call me and be like, "Can you come into work today?" Like, I'm just gonna tell him no because I'm not scheduled. I'm like, that's how a job works. If they need people, they're gonna call people.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I understand what she's saying.
I think it's just a company.
Yeah.
It's just a company trying to function. And if I had a company, I'd want employees that I could call in to come do their job and work. But yeah,
I understand.
what about you? I mean, like, does that? Well, I guess you don't really have a lot of experience or any. Do you have any? Like, have you worked? No, no, not that. Have you worked besides the Marine Corps?
I worked at logistics and then the concrete, and then I worked at
Oh, you did, yeah,
Parish
Parish.
and
That's right.
at Jody's, and then yeah, so I worked there for like four months.
Yeah.
It was fun. I liked building the stuff, but then it was like I don't want to talk bad about it at all. But towards the end of it, it was like because they were like in a low time right there,
Yeah.
like then, and they didn't have many people that were experienced, like
Yeah.
experienced enough, so they couldn't really accept all this work. So then they were like, "Hey, you don't have any like work this week." So that, but I didn't want to be like on call for them to be like, "Hey, come in tomorrow." So I was just like, I'm just gonna quit and I'm gonna work
Yeah.
work around the house and do stuff like that because I wanted to be able to have as much freedom as I could before I went to boot camp.
Yeah.
So I decided, yeah, I was just gonna say, Jody,
Yeah.
don't hate me, but yeah, I did that and I worked at logistics some, and yeah, those are my two main jobs for.
Yeah, Paris, that was their struggle is like they're in a really tough location because it's really hard to find employees.
They get really
Especially
good
with
jobs
skill.
though. Like
Yeah.
the um chop house.
Oh, really?
Kingsport, yeah, they were renovating. They,
Oh,
yeah, they get like really good jobs and they do really good. Like,
their problem is manpower, right?
yeah, because Tommy and Jerry, they're both like super meticulous. Like everything has to be done like the perfect way. Like I even saw it with them. One thing was like off and like nobody would notice it. But they're
Yeah.
like, I don't like that. So we like ripped whatever we were doing back up. And I'm like,
Well, I guess that's why
like
they're
four
really
hours.
big jobs,
Yeah,
because
like
they're so
they're good.
precise.
Yeah. But I don't know. Should have just worked there. It's like, great job.
Like part of the reason I am as hard as I am in the direction of not having anyone tell me what I could do
Previous 4
is
years.
because of the army. Yeah, like I was already kind of like that. But the army definitely pushed me very far in that direction. It's like, man, I just
Got tired of getting yelled
I'm
at
so
for 4
done with
years.
it. I've
Yeah.
used that. You guys are watching a sweaty shirt.
Yeah.
Do I smell?
Yeah.
Just making sure this doesn't have DO on it.
Oh,
And if I smell, I'm blaming it on that shirt, not my body odor. Yeah, but if you hear him comment on it, it's the shirt. That shirt, not the one that's on me, because I'm a clean person.
Hey, back to the
Well, just so you hold on, just so you guys know, somebody that you can respect, and for being clean.
going off a little bit tangent there.
Oh yeah. So, I ran into a fucking asshole today at the sauna. Well, okay, so I did my workout. I got into the sauna, and it was about 10 minutes. Yeah, I spilled my water on my tail. It's like that. Anyways, I was in the sauna for about 10 minutes, and then like this old fucker comes into the sauna, and I'll socialize. Like I don't care. I'm all about socialization in the sauna. I don't care how many people are. I'll talk to you. But there's like 7 dudes in there this time. No one's talking, except for these 2 gentlemen that are talking about biking or riding a motorcycle all the way down to Nashville or whatever, or over to Nashville. And this one dude walks in, and he's like, he walks in and he just like looks around the room, and already he's got a problem. He's like looking at everyone, and he's got a problem that there's too many. And one guy's like, "Oh, actually, I'm on my way out." And I'm pretty sure he's on his way out because he saw that guy came in. And it's just some old, fat, mean, grumpy old piece of shit. Really old family never listens to this. That grumpy old fat piece of shit. I'm not talking about anyone in the family. But he comes in and he sits down, and I started making conversation with him. We start going on. I kind of like lose interest in the conversation, so I don't want to be rude, but I'm kind of like trying to like detach from the conversation. And so like I'm just kind of like or I don't know, or what's that? Or so you're blah, blah blah. And this guy was telling me that he was the chairman of a music department at a college, or he's retired from that or something. And I was like, oh, okay, so you're a musician. I said I work in the music department. I chair the music department. But, oh, you chair it? I didn't hear that. She's like, well, even if I didn't chair it, I got math in there. Okay, I don't fucking know what all they teach in the music department. I didn't know that every single person in the history of time that's ever been in the music department has been a musician. I mean, there's in stand up, there's people out there that aren't comedians that are still involved in the business. Yeah. Like I don't know. There's Cuss D'Amato that coach Mike Tyson was not a fighter, but he was the best coach in the world. Like I don't know. He's just being a fucking asshole. And so I'm like, I don't know. That's what I told him. Yeah. But then I just started being overly nice because I recognized that this guy's a fucking dick. And so I just started being like over the top. And just started pissing off. Because he started being a dick to me. And so I just pretended to be like what's that word? No, not ignorant. Oblivious, yeah. I tried to be oblivious to him being pissed off at me and just be more and more curious about his life. So yeah, so like what kind of music? Country? I know that pissed him off. And then when he left, like everyone in the sauna was like, yeah. So I see that was like your first interaction with that guy. And
I hate when people come like you're just sitting there, like the sauna we have on this is pretty small. It's like probably from there to there. And we're just sitting there, and people will come in there and just be like, oh, like so obnoxiously loud. I'm like, go out there and stretch and then come back in here.
that is annoying. It actually felt kind of nice.
I mean, it feels good. So, like, welcome back to the stretching podcast.
One thing I thought was interesting during yoga was, the butterfly thing.
Yeah.
You put your feet together.
Yeah.
Well, the yoga lady had me grab my feet and stretch my shoulders out. It wasn't like a leg exercise or leg stretch. Yeah. I mean, it still stretched the legs out, but like, yeah, she actually used it to stretch out your shoulders and stuff. That's interesting. Yeah. They do some really interesting things in yoga. They'll have you like kind of like the way they warm you up. You'll be on your hands and knees, and then they'll tell you to do like big circles with your butt. You feel really good. But if you're alone in a room, it's not good. And
And
you're
then
doing
somebody looks through and has no idea what you're doing. It's been here before.
yeah. But I don't know. I go to the wellness center now, just so that everyone here on YouTube knows. If anyone ever wants to stalk me, I'm at the wellness center, Johnson City, Tennessee. My address is. I won't go that far.
Live there.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, we can wrap it up.
Plan on living in Texas? What you
Yeah, I think so. I don't know for sure, but
as part of it?
for me, like, I want to be near family. I'm sure you feel that now after having been away from family, and that's how I feel. I've been away plenty. Now I just want to be around family. The problem is, mom's all the way over in Iowa.
Iowa.
She moved from Indiana. New job. Yeah, she's actually got a pretty cool job. It's like
How does she find these jobs so far? Like she lived in Florida and found a job in Indiana. Moved back to Florida.
well, if
Indiana, Iowa.
you ever look for a job on Indeed, they're all over the place. I mean, you just punch in an area code, job you're looking for.
I mean, what made her look up the area code in Iowa?
Okay, so she didn't necessarily go looking in Iowa. It's just with the job she's getting into, she's going to be a deaf counselor. So yeah, deaf counselor. So basically, it's if you go on hospice and you have 6 months or less to live, you'll have a deaf counselor come to you, and they'll help. It's a weird title. I don't know what other titles there are for it, but basically, she's a minister. So she's got to be able to minister to them in whatever religion they choose, and she can also help them out. Like, let's say that you're dying, and things would be a lot better if you could get this surgery for $5,000. But you don't have $5,000. Timmy has $5,000, or Ethan has $5,000, and you know, I don't want to go and ask Ethan, and it's it went over you. It went way out there. That launched all the way to the wall. That was like a fucking self-propelled airplane. Okay. Yeah, just drawing the list. But you know, so like maybe because Ethan's my brother, I feel weird about hitting him up and being like, "Hey man, you been helping Jake out and giving him $5,000?" Well, fuck you. Why don't you do it? Like, you know, like that type of shit. Whereas like a deaf counselor, she can call in and be like, "Hey, I don't know if you know this, but your brother's dying. Just so that you know, and we could really benefit from this surgery for $5,000 or whatever." It's not like she sells it, but she can ask questions that they can't. You know, like you wouldn't want to go ask Ethan if you're not, you know, but maybe your counselor can. Yeah, so she's a deaf counselor, but that's a really hard field to get into because, I mean, like it's not something you really want to take a chance on somebody with.
How do you minister to everybody? You just read their
I'm
whatever they.
you know, basically how you're supposed to do it. I don't know if she's required to preach things that she doesn't believe in, or if she just has to provide the resources to be able to. Yeah, but it's funny the way she says it because like her whole mission is to make sure that you have a good death.
Hi. We make sure you die good.
Yeah, and a lot of deaf counselors apparently they know how to play guitar, different instruments.
With them
Yeah,
for the last
keeping them comfy. You know, you're trying to help reassure them, help them find their peace. I forget. I wish I didn't, but I forget everything she said. Some of it was like a lot of people think that the biggest thing that people are afraid of when they're dying is death, but it's not death. It's no, I don't want to say what's after. I think it's what everyone else is thinking of. No, maybe I think it's not. I don't remember, but she was going through like a lot of like situations you would run into as a deaf counselor and how to handle those situations.
I wonder if she can do this. Seems like it would take part of the college or some sort of training to be able to.
She did recently get her master's. I don't know. She's got a bunch of degrees and certifications and a bunch of different things. She's a paralegal. She's a minister, currently a director, and like supervises therapists. And now she's a deaf counselor, and she's a certified minister, which I think was pretty good. Yeah, yeah, no. Honestly, I think I probably got that from her as far as like bouncing around.
Amount of jobs.
Yeah, dude, because I went from construction to sales to
Coffee.
Yeah, to coffee and getting fired from Dunkin'. Yeah, back to construction, to army, to kind of being a manager or nothing. Yeah, I guess.
How many stocks?
One, two. No, I'm not really in the stock investment phase for the time being. I'm gonna like get a car, however the fuck I can get a car phase.
Did you hear about that stock AMTD a couple months ago? One of my friends, we were in school, he was like, "Yo, you gotta look at this stock," and I was like, "All right." He's like, so he put in like $15,000 whenever it was at $14 a share, and so he's like, "Yo, you gotta buy in at this." It was like $23 or something like that. So I put in like $20 or something like that, and then it went up to like $100, and I'm like, "All right, I'm selling out." And then he was like, "I'm just gonna keep mine." It went up to over $2,000 a
How
share.
much did you?
Huh? I only made like 30 something bucks because I was scared to go into it. He's like, "Trust me, dude, it's gonna be great." He's like, "Literally, I promise, just trust me." So he put in like $2,000 or something ridiculous. Whatever was like $14 a share. And then it went up to like 300 or 400. He sold a little bit and then it dropped back down. He's like, I think there's still something there. So he bought more. And then it went up to over $2,000 a share. And he has over, it's like a couple of, yeah.
I guarantee you, if you that hard, it would. That's how it always works, you know.
Yeah, because even after that, I was like, listen to it, like, all right, I'll listen to you now. Which was the next one, and then none of them like took off. I have AMC. I have one money AMC and this one.
Yeah, I don't mess around much with single stocks. I did some,
The like SMH and PTQ.
yeah, I mean, you talked to Dad.
Yeah, I still have a lot.
Yeah. But you remember GameStop?
Yeah.
That's pretty great.
Yeah, that was basically kind of like
For Doge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People keep saying that because GameStop and AMC, like if you look up on Twitter, there's GME and AMC. Apparently, those are pretty closely related.
Well, I think AMC wasn't that like another control stock?
Yeah, they're both
Yeah.
stocks.
Yeah.
And so I bought in on it, and then they did like a stock split. So it was at like 20 something. So they did a stock split. So everyone was like $10, and then you had 10 AMC coin or something like that. And then the AMC coin, whatever it was, just tanked to like $2
Oh,
now.
Dad was saying something about that.
Yeah, because I told Dad to buy in on that. He's like, he put in like a lot of money.
Yeah.
He has a lot of money. And so he put in a lot of money, and I was like, "Hey, I made like $20 off of this. This is good." He's like, "I know, thank you for telling me." He's like, "I'm at like 2,000 now." I'm like, "I hate you." I was like, "Do I get like a buyer's fee?" Finder's fee? He's like, haha, I used you. I'm like, that's not fair. Broke. But yeah, then it tanked. He said he's still positive in it, but I bought later because I was like, well, I think it maxed out, and then it didn't max out, and I bought back in, and then it maxed out. But yeah,
I don't know. I was pretty big into stocks for a bit.
I remember that. But you're definitely
Yeah, back when I was financially responsible. It's not just in my.
just went and bought a brand new microphone when you had to buy a cord. We have a whole really good microphone over there. He buys a whole microphone. He's like, I hate myself for this, but I needed it.
Yeah. It's not like the podcast, and plus I know I'm gonna need another microphone at some point anyways.
Yeah.
That typical spinner's mentality.
Maybe you can find something a little better than this movie and
Oh, I've shown them before. I have my YouTube store where I make my, or what I think I titled it. Yeah, it was something like how to build a set when you're broke or something like, I don't know, something like that.
do you have a
Not a single tag on any video.
I think that would help because like right whenever you're about to post, if you scroll down, it says tags and just do like I'll talk about it.
Um, yeah, no, actually, that's a lie. I think I do have some tags in a couple of videos, but I usually just don't know what to say.
Also, your thumbnails probably really big. You know how to edit thumbnails.
No, I don't know how to edit fucking
Ethan
thumbnails.
does. You can
I don't edit the videos. I don't post the damn it.
I swear, if you want, I mean, can't say like I was there. But like thumbnails and everything. Thumbnails and everything. Tags is what like it
Well,
pops
how do I
up.
build a thumbnail?
It's not that hard. Just find
I guess we could take a selfie.
Yeah,
or
just do
something,
that.
right?
now click that, and be like, um, give it some sort of title featuring Jacob Kidwell, and then your title instead of just saying episode 9 Jeremiah Kidwell, just be like,
I like it though because it's so simple and easy,
yeah,
and just numbers.
yeah. The only problem with that is people aren't gonna know like since you have like no
Well, your name's in the title. It'll
yeah
be like me number 8.
yeah. But the problem with that is since you have no real like fan base yet, not fan base, but like subscriber, they're not just gonna click on a random video that says number 8 podcast. They're gonna want to know what you talk about. So like this one you could label military, stocks, death minister, and more.
I'll take on this one, especially since it's like our podcast. I'll throw the tags in. We'll do a thumbnail. It'll look pretty solid. All right.
I'll just be there like
Cool. Yeah. Now I'll do it pretty simple. I'll just like, yeah, we can just take a picture or something while that's processing and shit. This is my favorite coffee to drink for the podcast. Just a little word from our sponsors, everyone. So I swear, half of this podcast is me just making fun of podcasts. It's so stupid.
yeah, they'll be like in the middle of a really good conversation. It'll just cut to them and be like, a word from our sponsors. Here we have Starbucks Nitro Brew. It is so good.
You know what that one is with? It's like a group of them, and they all sit on this couch. They get high as fuck and drunk, and they all talk.
No, boys.
No, not Nelk. Even though when I was like Levi's age, I was watching Nelk.
Yeah.
I don't watch them anymore. Yeah. I kind of stopped watching them whenever. I'll never say they're like sold out. It's like if someone came up to me and was like, "Hey, I'll buy your podcast." I'm just like, you don't know, I'd sell this shit in a fucking. Unless it actually became big, and I would probably want to keep it.
You know
But
who's the beast?
yeah, Nava the Beast.
He actually believes.
No, hold on, goddammit. What the hell was I about to say? Yeah, I like the way they do their ads because, like, I hate ads in general. I'm monetizing the shit out of this channel as soon as it becomes eligible. But
So please watch. You have to have 4,000 hours.
yeah, but But that being said, I still hate people that do it. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. I don't really hate people that do it because I get it. Like this microphone didn't pay for itself, you know. But well, I paid for it. Yeah, but I like the way they do. It's not daddy's money. Yeah, these people. Okay, at the start of the podcast, I told them I cat's out of the bag. I live at home now, and I just got out of the army, and I'm becoming a student.
Fun fact, he took my room to
Yeah. Now you're telling them.
Hey, no, we all gotta start somewhere, bro. Yeah.
He is my little brother. He's my taller brother, but he's also my little brother. But they always do it really like they kind of when they're editing in the ads, you can tell they try to find like a part of the podcast where their ad relates to what they're talking about in the podcast, and then they'll insert the ad in that spot. And yeah, I thought that was pretty smart because like then when you're listening to the podcast and they ambush you with ads, it's kind of like, this sucks, but it ain't that bad. Plus the guy's funny as shit. The way he sells it, he's like, hey, I'll try to do him. Andrew Schultz. That's who it is. Hey. I'll be like, hey guys, so you should get a Starbucks coffee because it's the best fucking drink you could ever fucking get. And it's like the best shit. You wake up in the morning, you crack it open, drink it, feel like $1 million. Don't you want to feel like $1 million? Who the fuck doesn't want to feel like $1 million? Buy some fucking coffee, all right? Get a coffee. They're cheap. They're delicious. There's no reason you shouldn't get a coffee. Starbucks, you owe me money. No. I kind of want to do an ad. Yeah.
Even if you don't pay for it?
Yeah, dude, fuck it. I'm just going to see my next video.
Just literally just start promoting. Just be like, Nitro Cold Brew, Starbucks.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to sell you this table. You should get it because everyone needs a table. Everybody needs a table. Why does it need a table? No, I'm not going there. He said it's white. I mean, it is white. That's why you should buy it. It's circle. It doesn't love circles. Dude, we're fucking this podcast. Oh, we're over here pulling tables out and shit.
Hey. Oh, here's what I was gonna tell you. You know who Mr. Beast is?
No. I have Mr. Beast 11X.
No, he's the one that does like it's literally just Mr. Beast. He's the most subscribed YouTube channel. I think. I don't know.
Oh,
anyways, he does like this stuff where he like gives away $1 million. Anyway, somebody offered to buy.
Gives away $1 million.
Literally, he gave away a private $2.5 million private jet.
No.
Just literally look up his thing. Look up his thing later. His things are absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, somebody offered to buy his YouTube channel for $1 billion and he declined it. But
Well,
it's crazy.
what's that Joe Rogan always says? Once you got fuck you money, there's really nothing anyone can do. He's right, dude. He's like he talks about how he did Fear Factor because it was kind of fun and like they gave him a shit ton of money. And he's like, and now I have fuck you money. So like I'll just do things I want to do.
Yeah.
And he's right. I think that's the best way to go about it is one, get rich, or just not give a fuck.
You can ever get like
No, my plan, honestly, right now, I don't really have a plan, but what I'd be happy with, I think, just a $50,000 a year something. Something, I'll make it work. If I could make 50,000 from a podcast, or 50,000 from stand up, or 50,000 from a year. Here, yeah. 50,000 for doing something that I actually want to do. Even if it's not podcasting or stand maybe it's just making YouTube videos about fake ads, selling tables and shit. Like, I don't know. Like, this is nice. This is fun. If we could just fucking like meet up and I can meet people and like talk to them because I do like to talk, obviously. I'm introverted, but I really do like to study people. Yeah. Not necessarily study like you're a lab rat, but just like observe you, kind of see what you think or how you got to be how you are. I love that. And if I can make 50,000 a year doing that, 50,000 is enough to really, I mean, you won't get everything you want, but you could live pretty decent. And you're not working some shitty 9 to 5. Now, how's that going? Not very good. I've got 7 subscribers, you motherfuckers. And I work for my dad driving a tractor, and I live at home, so fuck you, but I was a parachute.
Combat engineer.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'll let you have that one up on me. You jump out of a plane with me. 'Cause that's the only thing I got on you is I jumped out of planes. You get hurt if you can't go to a training event because you're hurt, so you'll go jump out of a plane and then say that on a video that your commander can watch.
Just kidding. I'll be there January 20th.
Yeah, if we got any like actual ranking people watching this shit, just know that
You're not representing.
we're not gonna let this knucklehead do anything dumb. We'll make sure he goes to Norway. I don't know how, but we'll tell him to. Hopefully he does. I really don't know where I was going with that. Inhaler break. Ladies and gentlemen, albuterol is the best medication ever for asthmatic people. The Pro Air launcher is the best launcher. What the fuck are you doing? Oh. Whew. I signaled for him to speak while I'll do it again.
Ladies and gentlemen, comment down below who you would like to have on this podcast. Like and subscribe.
This ain't an interactive channel, motherfuckers.
Yeah, do not like. Actually, do that.
Hey, whoa, no. It's kind of an interactive channel. All right, hit the thumbs button.
Yeah, here.
Thumbs up.
Tell-
One up.
Send this video to all your friends.
Do my eyes?
You look like a raccoon.
We're goofing around way too much here.
Yeah, this podcast is about to be 2 hours long.
Is it?
Probably an hour 45.
Well, I don't want to push it just for the sake of pushing it. But Jake, this was a fun podcast. Let's do it again, man.
Yep.
I'm gonna go push the magical button.
All right.
We don't have an official outro, so Jake, make some music with your mouth while I push the button.
Dun, 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 dun.